the document that was drafted. It's like somebody is putting out a report on your wife. They say, man, favor, where's my report card? Let's see the testament. So the chairman of the Constitution Committee called me and said, my members are disgruntled, Mr. President. They are being called boogers. So can we publish the document so that the community can see this document for themselves? So I okayed the publications to put it on the website for people to go and review. The board chairman called me and said, Mr. President, did you authorize the Constitution to be put up? I said, yeah. He said, oh yeah, I'm taking the gloves off. When he took the gloves off, his first act was to call Stanford Peabody and say, the president said he's not coming to your restaurant because your wife can't cook. Yeah. You know, I couldn't understand that.
Excuse me. Mr. Chairman. Excuse me.
I'm still talking.
The president speaking, Mr. Chairman.
In continuation of that,
excuse me.
I am talking.
Yeah, I know you're going to speak, but excuse me. I guess you were in the room when I read the brown rules. I have all right to accuse you personally. And you have all right to accuse me. I don't think this is the purpose of this meeting. We address issues. And I want, if there's anything that she has against you, then talk about
it's fundamental in the During this administration, the OLM existed in the office space for 13 months. We did not charge the OLM $6,500. $1,000 divided by 13 months is $76 a month. The board had previously seen 3/4 of financial statements. And some of those were on the supplementary budget, some of those were on the comprehensive budget. But they never raised any issue about it until the issue came that Kerper Dwanyen pay rent for the office space that the OLM enjoyed with a furnished space, internet, waiting room, 2 conference facilities that this board used every single month, sometimes twice a month. OLM committees use, county organizations use. Even the board chairman kept saying, Mr. President, we got to pay your rent. I say, you don't got money yet. So as soon as we wrote $500 in November and $1,000 $500 in January, then the issue of the budget not approved came up. Now let me tell you another thing about budgeting. For example, we have this $250,000 federal grant was allocated in fiscal year 2005. That money is not spent, but we're going to spend it in 2009. The budget that was approved last year has not been exhausted. There are still excess funds in our budget. So we continue to operate on that until the finance team can come forward with their new budget for the year. Now, I want to go to this vice president issue. If you look in that Constitution, which is one of the reasons why we thought it was very important to restructure this organization.
The 86 Constitution?
The 86 Constitution.
Yeah, please make reference for clarification.
Okay, the 86 Constitution, that's the only legal constitution we have. That's the one that elected us. That's the one that I'm going by. And that's the one that they are obligated to go by. Unless they want to renege the election. If you don't honor that constitution, then you step aside. Yeah. So, there's no provision for how you replace a vice president. Now, the chairman spoke of whichever board member spoke here, spoke of precedent. We had a situation, I think in 2005 or 6, when Wilfred Harris's vice president resigned and moved out of state. I asked Wilfred about what happened in that circumstance. He said he nominated the VP, didn't go to the board. I asked the person that was nominated as VP, Marie Hayes. She said she went to the board. So there's two conflicting answers. But let me tell you what precedent is. Precedent is not one incident in time. Precedent is a consistent way of doing business over a long period of time. This is what makes this Constitution, valid by precedent. Because since 1986, over 23 years, we have gone by that. So we made the determination that we're going to review the issue. When we had a discussion with the LMA, we said, you have one or two options. You can send it to the board, or you can send it to the community. So in our judgment, we thought to send it to the community. And I wrote the chairman and said, in the meantime, Mr. Bhatti will be acting. And this is what we were intending to do today, to bring Mr. Bhatti's confirmation before you. Okay? Had the board not scheduled this meeting after we announced our meeting, and the only reason that we are here today again, I repeat, hello, is that we do not want to split the baby. Okay? I want to also talk about, hello? Hello? There was a reference here to Minnesota statute 501c3. What those say? First of all, OLM, based on the year it was founded, has to opt into certain statutes. Now, the 501c3, you have to have a governing body. And in this Constitution, the governing body is you. You have the corporate power. That is sufficient. The only reason this 1986 Constitution was not accepted is that as a 501c3 organization, it has to state that your purpose is for charitable purposes, somewhere along those lines, charitable, educational. And then you have to have what they call a dissolution clause, which you can't even shake one word of it, and you take the exact wording that they have, and it has to be in there. You put a comma wrong place, you're not getting it. You put and instead of or, you're not getting it. But the reason it was important for me to get into this issue